Hi everybody, it is Tuesday evening. Here in the UK it is Tuesday the 17th of March, and in fact this was supposed to be the big day of our Jewish wedding music Facebook Live with the Kimpton Fitzroy, and it was going to be the most exciting Facebook Live ever, but we've had to postpone it because of the coronavirus impact. We can't host it and we can't have as many people there as we wanted, and it just wasn't worth doing when we can't do it really brilliantly. So that is not a cancellation, it is a postponement. It will be scheduled for later on in the year, but for now that you've just got me doing a quick Facebook Live. Hi Debbie, I just wanted to come in here and update you on what to do if your wedding's coming up soon, and it's being impacted by this crazy world we're living in with the pandemic. Now, this is an era of helping and helping others however we can. I've just come off the back of helping about 150 wedding planners in a crowdcast by Belief, and it was brilliant. I gave them 3 big tips that they can be doing right now, and if you want me to do a Facebook Live on something similar like that tomorrow for wedding vendors, I can easily jump on and do that. Just say hi Debbie, good to see you. But this one today is for the brides and the grooms and the couples that are planning weddings in 2020 and thinking, what is going on? And my heart really breaks for you guys. You know, so many of you have been planning weddings for a year, poured money into it, poured your dreams into it, and now what do? You know, what do you do? So we're in touch with a lot of brides inside our brides club, our Smashing the Glass brides club. I'll put the link in, which if you're not yet a member and you're planning a wedding, I really do encourage you to join. We've opened it up for everybody to join and get free 30 days in there, so you've got nothing to lose, and I really want to help you on a one-to-one basis. That way I can help you one-to-one about your individual wedding plans. So do click on that link if you are in need of more bespoke help. But I want to talk to you about what to do if your wedding is coming up soon and what the options are, because at the time of this Facebook Live, today, 17th of March, the USA is calling for avoiding groups of more than 10 people through to the end of March. And there's other guidelines for Americans to cancel or postpone events for more than 50 people through early May. And these are similar guidelines all around the world, as we know. So unless you're down for a very hyper intimate ceremony, which by the way is a wonderful option, we've seen some incredible smaller Jewish weddings on Smashing the Glass over the years, and I must put a link to an Instagram post if you haven't seen it already, or something I posted yesterday. Let me put the link in, of a brilliant post of a couple in Israel. So in Israel right now, you can't get married, you can't be anywhere with more than 10 people, but in the supermarket you can have more than 10 people. So this couple decided to get married in the supermarket, and you've got pictures of them getting married in the supermarket, and I think, yes, these guys know what's important, and something tells me these guys are going to have a very happy marriage, right? And besides, every time they go supermarket shopping, they'll think about their wedding. Genius. Definitely something to tell the grandchildren. But anyway, I digress. So yeah, the options at the moment are drastically reduced guest lists, but even we're hearing things like, I have a bride and bride's couple who's supposed to get married this weekend in a really big wedding, and she could have gone ahead with it, but the truth is she felt like there was this black cloud over it, and she was also feeling, what if, you know, someone gets indirectly infected via her wedding? It would just, you know, and she's actually postponed it all the way out to August now, and we're seeing a lot of that inside our brides club, a lot of postponements, and that's okay. Well, the other thing I'm seeing is most venues and vendors that I'm in touch with are just trying their best to be accommodating. They will bend over backwards to accommodate you if they can, and a lot of them are doing it without financial penalty. So my advice to you, if postponing is even this much on your radar, don't just think about it. I would actually make the call the venue, speak to all your vendors, tell them what you're feeling, talk to your venue about an alternative date, then check it through with all your vendors. If they're available, get back to your venue and ask them by what date you need to make a decision by. Calendar that date and then make a decision. And I promise you, in these circumstances, It's far less stressful if you actually just make a decision and run with it, rather than just have like, oh God, what if, what should I do if, da da. So just the goal is to make a decision. It can't be the right or the wrong decision. It's just about making a decision, because that decision is the right decision and you go all in with it. Okay, so that's something to consider about postponing. The other thing to consider, if you are still going to have a wedding, albeit a smaller wedding, if postponing isn't something that you want to do, which by the way, only you and your family can decide. No one can tell you whether you should or shouldn't postpone. That's a very individual decision that's up to you. And if you are going to go down and have a smaller wedding, think about maybe not doing buffet, individualized portions, and obviously plenty of hand sanitizer for everybody. And even little hand sanitizers as favors is going to go down really well. People are not going to leave those behind. So that is something to think about. Also, I want to talk to all my lovely couples who are having destination weddings to also do the same, to contact their venue and vendors and talk to them about how you're feeling, and maybe they'll help you come to a decision, and also make a soft plan B of an alternative, whether you bring the wedding to have it in your hometown or whether you push it out to a later date, and again, by what date you need to make a decision on. Okay, so I hope that's clear. If there's any questions around postponing, pop them in the comments and I'll answer them. The other thing you can do, obviously, is the option still remains to have a really small ceremony now, either a civil or religious ceremony, and hold the big celebration later down the road when things are calmer. And the small ceremony or celebration can literally just be the two of you, an officiant, two witnesses, or it can be an intimate gathering, just a handful of your closest family and friends. And like I said, some of our STG Brides Club members have done exactly this. They've opted to have a civil wedding literally this weekend, some of them, or even today, or the last weekend, followed by a small lunch or dinner. So there's like a sense of celebration there and then. And then they're going to do their Jewish ceremony or the bigger wedding at a later date when, more guests will be able to celebrate with them. And this way they can still celebrate and actually be married on their original wedding date. And you know what? If you go down this route, you can even live stream the ceremony to those who can't attend in person, so they can feel like they're there. So there's lots of things to think about, but stay focused on what really, really matters, which is about the two of you, that you've got each other, you found your soulmate. And you know what? This is the period, if you ask me, like, this one good thing to come out of all of this is it's helped us all refocus on what really matters. And you know what really matters? I'll tell you what really matters. Health, good health, looking after others, and not taking things for granted. Those are three things that often we don't appreciate, we don't think about. This is the time to appreciate that and practice gratitude and feeling grateful, because as heartbroken as you are, and I am for you, I really am, I also do want us to think about the good things, our family, cherishing family, being grateful for what we do have, being grateful for our health, being given the opportunity to be kinder to others and look after others. I know certainly at Smashing the Glass, me and the whole team have completely stepped up to helping however we can, whether it's helping those wonderful wedding vendors who are seeing kind of postponement after postponement and literally their livelihood crumble away in front of them, as well as the couples themselves who have been planning these incredible, beautiful, unforgettable weddings, and the same thing, their dreams just kind of crumbling to the wayside. So it's tough for everyone, and it's a real honour for me and the team to be sort of stepping up and helping however we can. And I am here to help however I can. You can always reach out to me. Ideally, I can help you in if you're a bride inside Brides Club, because that's where it's all set up to have intimate conversations, and you also have the support of so many other brides going through the same thing. And the wedding vendors I'm helping within my vendor community in a really deep way. So I hope that, some good will come out of all of this. And I think this is a great opportunity to remember what's important in life, our health, looking after others, and not taking things for granted. And I think that is a real positive to come out of the situation. So going back to like your wedding and, things to bear in mind, I think I've said this already, but I just want to reiterate, if postponing is on your radar, even just a tiny bit, do check and see what dates are available sooner rather than later, because many future dates are already on hold. As I say, most venues and vendors are willing to move the date without a financial penalty, but they do need the lead time. Okay, if your wedding is in the coming weeks and you want to go ahead, and obviously there's going to be drastically reduced guest lists, see if your caterer will consider lowering the minimum spend if you end up with a smaller guest count than originally anticipated. And we are seeing so many vendors reaching out and doing their very, very best to accommodate you, so don't be shy to ask about that kind of thing. One other thing, if you're getting key pop printed or stationery or any kind of wedding swag, do it sooner rather than later, just to make sure that you're not at the mercy of import delays and things like that. And also don't put the date on wedding swag, just in case there is a postponement. Stationery, I've mentioned this before in a previous live. If your wedding invitation have already been printed and sent out and the date has now been postponed, you can always create a new paperless design for the new date. And I'm hearing all my favorite stationery vendors, they're all saying they're very happy to help you customize a digital invitation to reflect your printed design. So that can work, it's okay. And last but not least, throughout all this, I'm talking to you, my gorgeous couples, do make sure you show your vendors that you're working with lots of love, because I'll tell you this much, that probably the income from your wedding is the income they're using to support their families and their livelihoods, literally. And most vendors will happily work with you in choosing another date. So let's work together, let's be collaborative, let's support wherever we can. I, for one, am helping however I can to whomever I can, and I really feel privileged to be in a situation where I can help and I'm making an impact. And that's one good thing, again, to come out of this situation. We have the kids at home, my husband's working from home, we are doing a bit of homeschooling at the moment, we are getting through it, we are stepping up and doing our thing. So lots of love to everybody. I hope you found this useful. Any questions at all, just put them in the comments. I'll get right back to you. Bye.